Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Friday, March 7th, 2025. Just a little quick FYI, at the end of this video, I am going to have an afterword that has nothing to do with the topic of this video. It's regards some other channel business. So if you're a regular viewer, especially if you participate in the meditations I do monthly, please stand by for that one. It won't take long. Okay. Well, the internet is a buzz, and not just the alt media corner of it, although I think the best speculation is coming from that corner, that the US debt clock has had some major changes in the last couple of days. Well, I went to Grok and asked a few questions. I am finding kudos to Elon. The Grok AI does seem to do a fairly good job of giving, especially general information. Now, I'm not so happy with it when I ask health product related questions or protocols or things like that. But for general information, I'm finding it very useful. Although I feel like I'm I'm a character in 51st Dates because Grok is designed so that when you log out, your conversation is gone forever as far as Grok is concerned. So every time I kind of like reintroduce myself, and you'll notice when I go to a screen share, if you read it closely, I get called sweetie in there because I mentioned to Grok that I felt like we had a 51st Dates thing going on. Well, anyway, I wanted to get to some in everyday terms, easy to understand, because I am by no means, and this is a good disclaimer, I'm no means a financial expert at all. I never claimed to be. Okay. So that's why I earned a pension instead of dabbling in the stock market because I knew where my strengths were. Anyway, but I did ask some questions about what's going on with the debt clock, and a couple of comments that came up in that conversation I think might be relevant and maybe good fodder for a tarot question. So let's find out. I'm going to take you to a share screen, which is simply the post I put up on the platform known as X, sharing some of that conversation with people in case they don't utilize Grok for whatever reason or just appreciate a quick summary of what's happening. And then we'll ask the tarot for some information. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a screenshot I did of the US debt clock earlier today. And I noticed that there were some of the changes were evident, and I had saved a couple of screenshots of the debt clock formerly when we had looked into the secret windows. You can go back to some of my older videos if you'd like to compare those screenshots to see what has changed. But it's really down here at the bottom part of the screen that we've got some big, big changes going on. And I asked Grok to kind of summarize those in everyday terms. Okay, and so here is what the Grok came up with. That there's some graying out of the income tax and corporate tax. There's a new decentralized future savings section. There is a now a USA hidden wealth asset-backed dollar and recaptured assets. I love that because I was thinking of military tribunals and how crimes against humanity forfeit entire fortunes. And so I love that recaptured assets. And then just the money creation shift under the money creation part of the scoreboard, there's a mention of USA Treasury dollar/money supply. This could mean the clock is imagining a world where the dollar isn't just printed out of thin air. That's what we call the fiat dollar, but tied to something real like that hidden treasure. It's a nudge towards a more stable asset-backed system, kind of like switching from monopoly money to gold coins. Okay, then went back and had a little further clarification with Grok about that, about what was happening. And basically, one of the comments that Grok made before we were done, and I'm reading off to the side here, so you have to forgive me for looking away from the screen, because this is kind of the wording I want to use in the tarot read. Okay. The clock's changes could reflect a world where Bitcoin or cryptocurrency isn't just a speculative um, asset, but a cornerstone of U.S. economic strategy. slashing debt reliance, rethinking money creation, and waving bye-bye to old school taxes. It's not set in stone. The White House hasn't confirmed this, but the buzz on X and crypto circles suggests it's more than a pipe dream. So I want to just ask about that. Now, first of all, as I mentioned earlier, we being my channel, has looked at the debt clock before. And one thing I have always noticed is when there has been a change on that, and it's not a government site, just so you know, it is a private site. But when they've made a change, it has been based on a real change in every instance up till now. For example, the Doge window did not start until Doge was going. And now we have those different financial elements being um, changed. So I just want to ask, I want to ask the cards about this, and I want to phrase it in such a way that we get a yes or no element to the question. Okay, so is the U.S. debt clock indicating a very real pivot in our financial system that we can see more tangibly in the near future, plus additional insights and information? So let's go with that for our question and see what the universe wants us to know. So we would like to know if the changes in the U.S. debt clock are indicative of a pivot in the U.S. financial system that are tangible and going to see the light of day that we can anticipate and enjoy in the near future, plus additional insights and information the universe might want us to know. Okay, we've got the Three of Wands. We've got our yes, Ace of Pentacles, and Pentacles are money, tangible goods, guys. Asset backed, here we come, fiat, go away. We have the Eight of Wands, Justice, recaptured assets. I think we're getting a little nod about that. The Six of Swords, these cards couldn't get much nicer, guys. The Hierophant, and the Four of Wands. I'll get a couple more cards before we're done, just because I find the topic fascinating. Let's bring those down so they're more completely in camera view. Okay, so the situation was indicated by the Three of Wands, which talks about setting out in a new direction with the path clear before you. So yeah, and we had our hard yes. So yes, we are going to be enjoying publicly, knowingly, and in real time, enjoying a shift to asset-backed currencies. Okay. Now, for those of you that worry, what we're talking about is doing away with all currency and only having cryptocurrency, which the deep state wanted. That's not what I'm asking about. That's not what we're getting advised about. I have never gotten from the cards that we are going to have completely a loss of physical money, legal tender to use for garage sales, for paying the babysitter, the lawnmower guy, or whatever that might be. That's going to remain part of what we have to use and to deal with money if that's our choice or the occasion warrants it. So please don't think that when I'm saying this, I'm saying, hey, that the debt clock's talking about going to crypto only. I'm not saying that. It's saying we were asking about an asset-backed type of currency situation. Was this talking about a pivot that will be seen and known, not just background, but for us? And we got a yes on that. So I wanted to be very clear about that. And those of you that might, or if I attract with this topic some bots, I want to be really clear what I was asking about, what we're getting informed about. There's been a lot of movement going on in the financial sector, as we know, and there's been announcements about different currencies and items like that. The Justice card, I think, was a very pointed indicator of the recaptured assets because there's been talk, and the 17 team has said multiple times, we have the gold. We have the gold. So, and how would they get that? Crimes against humanity. Boom. So the justice part of this reason that we're going to this and able to go to this isn't just the new tariff system and the external revenue system that is being brought online and used, but the justice. Now, never fear. We've got the near future, some very nice indicators here. For the near future, we have the Six of Swords, which, first of all, kind of the swords are our words, thoughts, and often contracts and legal matters. So there's a little nod here to this is all being done very legally, and it's designed to take us out of a financial system that is compromised, that serves really the purposes of only a very few individuals or families, and it has innocent life as a priority, and fairness and transparency. Okay, going from chaos to calmer, clearer water. So that transparency is kind of indicated there. The Hierophant can talk about how I think the that has been done with some a good understanding of the current system and the changes that needed to be made. So just a very, this is not a really creative wisdom type of card, but it's a reassuring card in so much as it talks about some wisdom and knowing current structures, and then that is going to help affect the changes and steer the ship into those calmer waters. And then we have the Four of Wands here, the for our further insights, just talking, first of all, that there's a lot of cohesion to what's going on, that it's one that we can celebrate, that's good, that's the changes that are coming, just excellent, excellent aspect. It's so well. So we've got that going. Now let's get a couple more cards and see what might be told to us by the tarot. We have the Knight of Wands and we have the Five of Swords. I'm going to get a couple more. Woohoo! All right, might be getting a little deeper. Hope I can interpret it. I'll try to do it for you, okay? Knight of Wands. Again, now these cards are looking farther into the near future. They're less impactful, no matter what they might be, than the Hierophant and the Four of Wands that we had here. So here's what they're saying. Okay, at least as far as I'm getting on what we call the downloads as I talk with you. Okay, so it's telling me right here, again, wisdom has kind of prevailed here, and common sense in making these changes. And the Knight of Wands, one of my white hat cards, not a major one, but a white hat card, and just indicating energy to see it through, to take it from concept to reality and put into practice. Okay, to do that, they've had to defeat and set aside some of those that were trying to keep the former system in play, and so that defeat has been done. Okay, and then again, I say done because the fives in the tarot deck usually indicate temporary situations, not very lasting very long. So even if there is a little pushback for some changes, it's not going to last very long. But I think this is just kind of telling us that we've had some, just a reminder of that. And we have the Three of Swords and the Emperor. Okay. Now, I don't want to go out on a limb here and make any huge predictions. I want the tarot to kind of inform my intuition and not be a prognosticator. Normally, this talks about some lies and falsehoods. Sometimes it can even talk about a 2.0 indicator. So, and then my Emperor card is, like the white hats. So, what I'm seeing here, what I'm going to go on record as saying is, I think as we have these changes announced and implemented, what we can be reassured of is the fact that the person seen in the public eye that'll be announcing these is a 2.0. And again, as we've always been told, Mr. T is safe, and the 17 posts have been very clear about that. The POTUS is safe. So it looks like some of these announcements, if they happen in a forum where there's some risk involved, where there's some potential for shenanigans, etc., I see this as a reassurance that POTUS is safe. POTUS is safe because God bless him, one of his stand-ins is going to be taking that position of public risk so that he doesn't have to. So that's what I've got for what we've got so far. So let's recap. There's been some recent changes in the US debt clock, which is not a government entity, but may report on matters that involve our different financial elements of our government. And I asked the universe if these changes were indicating a pivot that would be seen, realized, and experienced by those of us boots on the ground humans in the near future, plus additional insights and information. Well, first of all, we got a hard yes. And we got it with the Pentacles, which is about tangible assets, money, things like that. The yes, it does. The changes indicate a pivot that is going to be more realized and experienced in, in coming days, weeks, months. Okay, and one of the windows or the little tabs talked about recaptured wealth, and I speculated was that because of assets that are seized when there's a crime against humanity that's been involved and adjudicated, and the justice card showed up in the current. So I think we got a nod to that. We got a lot of reassuring cards here. The six for the near future, the Six of Swords talked about, taking us from a very shaky fiat-based financial system into something that's clearer and much more transparent. I liked that the changes have been made thoughtfully and with a lot of wisdom involved, that any pushback that has happened or will continue to happen about these changes is just not going to be successful at all. And then the very final two cards were rather interesting. So I want to go on record as saying how I interpreted them. The very final two cards involve the Emperor, which is usually my Mr. T, and the Three of Swords. And what I went on record as saying this was indicating, as far as I'm concerned, is that when these announcements and these changes in the financial system happen, and if any of them are done by our president, it is going to be a stand-in. He is safe. He's protected. The 17 posts have always told us POTUS is safe. And that will continue to be the case. So if there is a public speaking engagement or announcement venue or something like that where President Trump makes these big financial announcements, it is going to be a 2.0 that does that. And again, POTUS is safe. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found the content entertaining, and just thought I'd share that with you. And thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate each and every one of you. If you'd like to receive it, I send you love, light, and I wish you everything bright. Thank you. Now, for those of you that hung around for the afterword, I promise to be fast. I just wanted to let you know that March is a month that has 5 Sundays. Typically, I do my meditations on the 3rd Sunday of every month, but I have a personal commitment on the 3rd Sunday this month that I can't get out of. And so we're going to have this month meditation on the 4th Sunday, which is the 23rd of March. So it will still be the week before the final week. It's just going to be the 4th Sunday. So you watch for announcements, okay? And I don't have a focus yet. I've been thought and prayer about that. My email channel is listed under the About tab for this channel. If you have a focus you'd like to suggest, I am open to suggestions, always, always. And every once in a while I think we've done 1, maybe 2 that were just rather general in nature. But if we can think of a good focus, I'd like to do that so that we have a specific topic that if you want to go back and review or do a meditation about, you can find that topic and hone in on it. So anyway, 4th Sunday this month, March 23rd, meditation. Hope I see you there. If you plan to attend in any kind of positive or neutral light, I want to be real careful about my invitations. That's one of the things as I'm learning more about energy that I've learned to do, be very specific about what you invite, welcome, give permission to. And the meditation is very much something I want to have positive energy at, or neutral. That's fine too. You can be a skeptic or just see what's going on, curious, that kind of thing. No problem. Okay, this is my final goodbye. And again, if you're willing to receive it, I send you love, light, and I wish for you everything bright. Thank you. Bye.